Hello, Virgo. This is your monthly reading for the month of May 2025. My readings are a little different. I get psychic impressions from the images on the cards, and I also interact with spirit. So let's take a look and see what's in store for you. So the first card we have here is Energy Shift. So it feels like you're being pulled in two directions. Okay. So I'm getting here, for most of you, you will be being pulled either into the physical, material side of life or the spiritual, ethereal side of life. And you need to decide which you want to emphasize, which you want to focus on. Okay. Um, and then follow that path. It would be best if you were to follow a spiritual path, to focus on your spirituality more so than your material, physical possessions or that side of life, because there are changes happening and coming. And if you've focused on the physical, you might miss out on things. There is a divide coming, and there will be people that will split off into the spiritual and rise up, and there are people that will split off and focus on the physical side of things, and they won't rise up. So you need to figure out where you think you're suited. If well, I wouldn't think you'd be watching this if you were totally into physical, um, and not having any sort of spiritual desires, or not, I wouldn't think that you'd be watching this if you were totally ignoring spiritual things. So yeah, try to focus on that spirituality and try to find a path that you can keep moving up. There are teachings out there, there are teachers out there who are extremely limited in what they know and what they've accomplished. So be really careful, because if you stick with one person and they only get so far, and you only get so far, and you can't go any farther, and they say, well, this is it, and you're like, no, I think there's more, then it's time to leave them and go find someone who can teach you there's more and how to get there, and to increase your spiritual progress, right? I mean, you don't want to be stuck, stagnant, because there's a call for growth here. So grow either way. It's up to you. I mean, you can take as an example right now, certain billionaires. Are they happy? They don't seem to be happy because they keep looking for more. They keep looking for something else in life. They're losing out. They're not getting it. It's because that's not what life's about. Life is not about making money. Life's about increasing your spiritual knowledge, making spiritual progress, growing spiritually as much as you can. Okay, Spirit said move on. Okay, so we have divine being. So this is sort of emphasizing, spirituality. It comes from within. So you do need to move inward. need to gain control of your own mind, gain control over your own emotions, your thoughts, your desires. It's best to focus on your needs and not your desires, because our desires are endless. You've probably figured out by now that you really, really want something, you get it, you're happy with it for a little while, and then your mind moves on to, oh, there's something else I need. There's something else I want. Oh, I desire that. And so you just keep moving on, and then you just keep accumulating more and more and more things, but you never get to the point where you're satisfied, where you're living a life of bliss with everlasting happiness. Doesn't happen from things outside of yourself. So you need to do the inner work, and we're all divine beings at our innermost being, at our highest level, and we will all eventually get there, so that we are experiencing that, so that we are our divine being and not so much this physical manifestation that we have. Some of us are going to take a lot longer than others, but we are going to all get there. So that's something to focus on in May, is looking for those paths, looking for the way to improve, increase, and grow your spirituality, okay? Okay, the next card we have here is self-realization. Okay, so I'm being told to move the card so that it goes this way for you to see. Because for you, the card is this way, not this way. So there's two sides coming in, right? The two walls, kind of like the Star Wars when they were in the garbage compactor, if you know that maybe. Anyway, I'm dating myself here. So you are the being in behind, surrounded by light, surrounded by positivity and goodness. You're working on making things better in life. And for you, what I'm getting are the pillars, right? That in this case are actually growing and pushing those walls apart to protect you, to free you, for your liberation, that you're not going to be trapped. And because they're pulling apart and separating, this new path, right, whoop, is coming in. And it's building as the walls are separating, and it's building towards you. So there's something there that is coming towards you and is going to be offered to you. So pay attention to that, because it's looking like a good offer, and it's because of the spiritual work you've been doing that this is taking place. Okay, so keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, keep increasing, growing. Don't stagnate. If you stagnate, that path, that offer is not going to make it to you, because the walls won't get any wider to free you. I hope that's making sense. But that's awesome. Okay, so the next card we have here is authenticity. So there's a real emphasis coming through on the wind that's blowing in this card. So you may have to deal with, some of you, it may be a tornado actually, some sort of very windy storm that might come through in May, in and around the month of May, Spirit's saying, not necessarily in May. So prepare for that. If you are living in Tornado Alley, or you live somewhere where these things happen, or can happen, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you've got an action plan, that you've got like you know your emergency steps, right? Like I don't know if you have oh, a bunker. I don't know what they call them. You know, the cellars, something to go down into, right? That you can be safe, a safe place that you can get to. If you because I don't know if this will happen if you're at home, so make sure you have that in place at home, that you know what to do, and everyone in the home all know what to do. So like if you have to practice like a tornado drill, like, you know, like these are practice fire drills in school, um, do that. If it happens while you're at work, like find out now what are the safety steps, what are the emergency steps to take if that happens. Is there a room that's safe to go in? You know, is there a basement, you know, something that you can be safe. So try to get that prepared ahead of time as much as you can. I'm also getting told it would be good to prepare to have staples, things that you will need if the emergency comes through, if a tornado comes through where you are. Make sure you've got food that doesn't need to be cooked, right? Or you've got bottled water or whatever that you're going to need because you might not have access to clean water, that type of thing. Make sure you have these things sort of prepared um, to help you. So for others of you, like not everyone lives in a tornado area, although they can occur in places that they don't normally occur. But it does feel like there's some sort of storm that's going to blow through. So this could actually be a real weather event. But this could also be like an emotional storm that comes through. Maybe there's going to be a fight, argument, a breakup of some kind of a relationship. Not necessarily a partner, could be a family member, and you guys have had it with each other and you just get to the end. But there's some sort of storm like high winds event, you know, that like could play out in these different ways. So yeah, be careful, be cautious, be prepared. Because watching this, you're forewarned, right? I'm not you wouldn't be sure how this is going to come through in your life, but try to be prepared so that when it happens, you'll be like, okay, right, here's what I need to do, so that you know what's coming. So you're not getting blindsided, right? Um, so it doesn't totally take you by surprise and you're unprepared and you're not willing to work through it, that you don't just kind of totally break down and give up, right? Be prepared. Be prepared for some sort of storm like event, whether emotional, however it might play out for you. Okay? Okay, Spirit said that's it. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching.